Hey, hello everyone. So in this session, we are going to learn about the Linux shell, which is Bash, and we are going to understand like how to use the Bash shell, what is the use of it, what is the fundamentals behind that. So Linux shell is a bash short for the born again shell, is a command line shell and scripting language widely used in Linux and Unix systems. So it serves as the interface between the user and the operating systems, allowing user to execute commands, manipulate files, and automate tasks through the various scripts. So when we are talking about the bash, is just an interpreter between user and operating system. So when user type the commands on the Linux shell, it actually the instruction goes to the kernel, and then the further operation is being performed. So for example, if you are executing power off command on Linux shell, that the shell is passing that command to the kernel, and further it is interacted with the hardware to process the shutdown function. So this is how it works. And when you log into the Linux terminal, you will see the prompt, which is the Linux shell. So here in the square bracket, what you see is root @server1, and then there is a sign of tilde and bracket close, and there is a pound sign, which is a hash prompt. So this particular prompt, let's understand. So when you on the Linux shell, mostly root user login prompt will looks like this, okay, and the normal user login prompt will looks like this. So with $, it indicates that the user is logged in as a normal user. So let's understand this also. So the root prompt indicates that the user has user or administrator privileges. It is typically displayed as £sign in most Linux distribution. So this particular prompt referred to as a root prompt and having administrator privileges, which is also referred to the super user privileges. The second prompt, which we are seeing having the $sign. So normal user login prompt, the normal user prompt indicates that the user has a regular non-administrative privileges. It is typically displayed as dollar in most Linux distributions. So in the other side, when you logged in as a normal user, for example, in this system, there is a user called user1, for example. I'll just switch to that user. So su user1, and you can see that cd just come out of the main directory, clear the screen, and you can see that user1 @server1 tilde sign bracket close, then the dollar prompt, which indicates the user logged in the system is a normal user, and this user will not have administrative privileges. For example, if he wants to add any user in the system, he can't do that. Let's try that out. So by using user add command, test user 123, and you can see that the message comes like permission denied. So normal user cannot run the administrative commands. That is what the privileges set in the system. Clear the screen, exit from this shell, and you will see that I am back to the root login terminal. So let's understand a couple of features with the bash shell. So this particular prompt is also referred to the Linux command prompt or Linux shell or Linux command line, okay, or CLI command line interface, etc. So basic shortcuts which comes with the bash, which you can use to operate while working on the command line interface. So let's understand that. So control plus a move the move to the beginning of the line. There are certain things which we are usually use during the work, that is the clear the screen. So control L, when you press the control L, like I have something on the screen and then I do control L, so it clears the screen. So it's a shortcut for clearing the screen. Then delete the word before the cursor, control plus W. So here if I go and if I type hi, this is test line, and if I press control W, you will see that one particular word is getting deleted like that. So delete the word before the cursor, which will be done by control W. So when you know these shortcuts, it is very useful if you want to work it fast in agile way, right? So you have some mechanisms in the bash shell in the terminal which you can do work faster. Completion shortcut, the third, which is autocomplete the commands, file names or path. This is very useful when you are working and setting up the large file systems. For example, let's understand this. I have a command called user add, but I don't know the next probably certain letters. So I can press tab key, double tab, and you can see that the autocomplete or auto suggestions are printed. So user add, user del, user mod. Now if you have put user A and tab key, then it will automatically give you the next available command, and you don't need to remember that, or you don't need to recall that. You can just use this function to have the auto complete command or file names feature. So I can show you for the files also. There is a file in /etc/sysconfig, for example, or in maybe /etc/passwd. So cat is the command to display content of the file, and path, which I'm using, /etc/pas. And now you can see that I don't type any letters, rather I will put the tab key and it automatically comes, because here with the passwd the only one file is available. Similarly, sysconfig network, so NET, and you can see that I pressed the tab key, so it autocomplete the file name. Also now I have the other path, I don't know, I press the tab key, double tab, and you can see that with the network there are other directories also available, like network hyphen scripts. So if I put hyphen and press tab, it will auto complete the file path or folder path which is available. So this feature is always help us to work faster in the system, also on the terminal. Also it allows us to not to remember this particular commands, rather during the practice you can just use this feature and you will come to the next available file names or maybe command names, right, automatically. So this is how you can work. So I'll just remove this, control L for clearing the screen. So this is the bash shell. History shortcuts, navigate to the previous command in history, like control plus P or control plus N. Similarly, other useful shortcuts are like interrupt and cancel the current command, or maybe log out from the current shell, or end input if the line is empty, or control plus Z to suspend the current foreground processes, like that. So I'll just give you the couple of examples. If I run the command like yum install or maybe yum list httpd, and for example it's going it's very fast, so I'll take something new, httpd core, some wrong name also I'll give, package. It will try to figure it out. Okay, no matching package to list. Okay, or list all. Let's do this, and you can see that I pressed the control C. Okay, rather now it's completed, but yum clean all, yum list all. Here we can go. All right, so here I'm pressing the control C, and you can see that it's interrupted, terminated. Okay, so The control C interrupts and cancel the current command. So this is one of the example. I was trying to list the packages using yum command, and in between I have just interrupted it. So that particular operation, that command is cancelled by control C on the bash shell. So you can do that way. Log out from the current shell by using control D. So if I want to, for example, I am switching to the user one, and here I have two options. Either I can put exit command or control D. So control D also performs the exit from that particular shell. So it is nothing but a logout from that particular user account. Okay, so I am back to the root account. Control L for clearing the screen again. Similarly, like control plus Z, you can suspend the current foreground process. So if any process going on, you can simply suspend it by control Z. So while working with the bash shell, you can use such type of shortcuts. And we also understood that this is nothing but a shell, which is a program which is an interpreter between user and operating system. So user executes the command on Linux terminal, on Linux shell, and then shell passes those commands to the kernel and for the further operations. So in the next session, we'll understand different type of command which we are going to execute on the Linux shell, which will give us the clarity how Linux operating system interacts with the entire operating system. Okay, by using different commands on the Linux shell. See you in the next session. Thank you.